It is always a good day when I get a package from B&H. Let's see what's inside. That is a long lens. Let's go out and take some landscapes. What's up, y'all? It's Project Photography back with another video, and today, people, this right here is an absolutely insane combination. Not only is the Nikon 28-400mm already a long lens, but when you're putting it on an APS-C size body like the Nikon Z30, we're able to get 600mm out of this package right here. Now, that is absolutely insane, but of course, we are able to get such a long range because we have 28mm on the wide end. We're still able to grab a really nice focal range. And so today will just be my shoot with this lens, but if you want to see the first impressions of this video, make sure to subscribe because that video will be coming out next week. You're not going to want to miss that because that's going to be an amazing video. But for now, let's go ahead and just walk around and see what kind of compositions we can get with the 20-400. This is going to be a really interesting first shoot. This is what 600mm looks like on my camera right now. So we have the 400mm, obviously, with the Z30. I mean, that is just absolutely insane. Like, if you want some context, the trees, that's how they're right over there. That's what we're taking an image of. 600mm is just so crazy. But the sun is going down quite a bit, so I think we are ready to go ahead and start taking some images. Put you guys on my GoPro to get a first-person point of view of what I'm shooting with the Nikon Z30 and the 28-400. We are now behind the scenes behind the camera, and I'm so excited to be shooting with this lens. Something that I found that's really interesting is that it's actually really difficult to get really sharp landscape images with this 600mm focal length. Not because of the lens itself. The lens is actually very sharp from what I found. But as you can see here, it is just incredibly overcast. There's a lot of atmospheric conditions, and that marine layer is very, very heavy. So even though the image actually is not looking that sharp, it's not because of the lens, it's because of the atmospheric conditions. And I think when shooting with something like a 600mm lens, that's just something you have to work around and kind of deal with, because it's not like you can kind of just change the weather or how that looks. Ideally, you want to use this lens in the best weather conditions, but obviously as a landscape photographer, you know that's just not reasonable to ask for. I mean, right here, again, shooting another 600mm image, and we're really getting into the more hazy areas. Shooting this tree, want to make a composition where this tree is the subject matter, kind of at the bottom, so you can kind of get a little more dead space on top. And I think it actually works out, and I really like the lighting here. But again, it's just not as sharp because of those atmospheric conditions. That's really not something that you can necessarily work around. I think it's just something you have to deal with as a landscape photographer. So right here, I'm going out to about 42mm. It's about 28mm on the lens, but obviously with the Z30, around a 42mm focal length. I just want to see what it looks like, varying up those compositions and those focal lengths. So I actually really like this image. I think it comes out pretty well. Very standard composition, nothing too crazy. We can see the staircase at the bottom with the sun at the top. And I'm really happy with how I edited these colors. I feel like it's just a nice pink glow. And it's just a really pleasing image overall. And so I kind of realized that 600mm is actually a really difficult focal length to shoot at, but we're going to do it anyways again. And right here, I'm kind of shooting through these like grass, I guess, I don't know, some foliage, and we're really showcasing this sun right here. And as you can see, I have a really difficult time actually grabbing this composition exactly the way I want. It takes a lot of different tries, but we end up getting it, and I'm really happy with this overall. I mean, we can see the sun setting. We go to the edited version, really feel like we're able to bring out those pink colors, reduce the hue on the green to be more of like a yellowish tint, and I think it just works out incredibly well. It's just such a beautiful photo, and the sun in the background just adds such a nice subject matter to look at. Very simple composition, but I think those simple ones is really what makes the 600mm so unique, because you're not going to have an issue grabbing the composition. Whatever composition you have or whatever subject matter you're shooting, if you're not going to get it with 600mm, you're just not going to get it with any other lens. So right here, I'm also going back to 28mm. Again, just testing that 28mm on the Z30, and I'm really interested to see how the lens actually performs. And we take a single image here, nothing too crazy. I feel like this is, again, a pretty standard composition, but you can see those mountains in the background are just non-existent. Like, that is the type of weather we were dealing with that day.
And overall, I think it's okay. Like, obviously we would love to see those mountains come out a bit more, but I'm pretty happy with this composition overall. And that is pretty much the last image that I take. I really like shooting with this lens. I didn't take that many images. I just felt like the weather was not ideal that day, but overall, pretty happy with them. So this is the one image that I actually felt like was really good. It's obviously just the most cleanest composition. I also really love having that foliage in the foreground. I feel like it adds a nice sense of dynamic elements to it because it's not just the sun, right? I feel like it's much more interesting overall as an image, and I love the colors here. So let me know what you guys think about the images that I taken, and what was your favorite? Let me know down in the comment section down below.
So the light has pretty much gone completely down and I am done shooting for the day. But this 28-400 is just an absolute beast, especially on the Nikon Z30. I mean, 600 millimeters is a really, really long focal length. And there wasn't that many times where I was like, okay, I really want to go to 600 millimeters. But there are a couple of shots that I did want to test that out and see what that looked like. But if you guys have any questions about this lens, go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below. I may be able to answer them in my videos. So thank you so much for experiencing the world with me today. Please feel free to rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.